It is Sunday, July 26th, 2026, and this is The High Road, Logistics and Leadership. I'm Elena Rossi, and I ensure that cool tech never overshadows physical risk in this industry.
I'm Jewel Sterling.
Buck Reynolds here.
And I'm Dan Miller. We have a great show for you today.
Yesterday, we looked at that Samsara physical AI pivot and I suppose you could call it a somewhat somber opening for the Gordie Howe International Bridge. But today, the market is moving into a whole different gear.
Look, it's a packed house today. We're tracking a market that's tightening so fast, it'll make your head spin. Some high-stakes AI in the repair shop, and a courtroom verdict in Texas that, here's the play. It might just change the broker game forever.
It sort of feels like a pivot point for the whole industry, right? Between the record volumes in Houston and this massive regulatory squeeze, well, it's a lot to unpack.
The thing is, the asphalt doesn't lie. You can talk about AI and spreadsheets all you want, but when the rates hit the ceiling, it's the guys behind the wheel who feel it first.
Look, let's kick off with the market, because, bottom line, the bull is out of the pen. We officially entered a carrier-led cycle this week.
If I may, it's a structural tightening. Spot rates are hovering around 55% higher than they were a year ago. Even with that post-July 4th dip, the floor hasn't just been raised. It's been bolted into place.
Right? And the earnings reports we're seeing today they're incredible. Knight-Swift just announced that their U.S. Express unit, finally, is actually profitable.
Well, here's the deal. Knight-Swift making money on a unit they've been dragging along for years? That tells me the rates are high enough to cover up a lot of operational sins.
It's not just a cover-up, Buck. Norfolk Southern saw a 4% jump in intermodal volumes. Shippers are desperate. When you can't find a truck, or you can't afford the $4 per mile dry van rate, you start looking at the rails.
We're talking about a national average spot rate that actually broke that $4 barrier for the first time. It's a psychological milestone, right?
Actually, you see, the real story isn't just the price. It's the tender rejections. The outbound tender rejection index hit 17.5% recently. 1 in 5 loads. Carriers are looking at their contracts and saying, no thanks, I'll go make double on the spot market.
Brutal. It's a 2-minute drill and the shippers don't have a quarterback.
But why is it happening now? It's the regulations. All these drivers being pulled off the road because of new federal safety blocks. The capacity isn't just shrinking, it's being harvested.
My thing is, you can't blame the regulators for holding people to a standard. But when you combine those regulatory shocks with a surge in demand, you get the perfect storm we're seeing right now.
It sort of feels like we're re-architecting the whole supply network on the fly. I'm seeing clients who used to live and die by the contract now begging for any capacity they can get.
Well, if we're talking about capacity, we have to talk about maintenance. I saw the new Atri report today, and man, repair costs are up over 8% in 1 year.
It's the high-end increase across almost every category. Repairing a truck now costs, $2.33 per mile?
Right? And that's why these new digital platforms are popping up like mushrooms. Have you guys seen the Fleetio stats? They claim their AI service advisor helped users reject over $41 million in unnecessary repairs so far this year.
Oh, only 41 million? You see, this is where I get concerned. Fleet operators are moving away from Google and general searches toward these niche ecosystems because, the general tools don't have the context.
My thing is, how does an AI know if a shop is overcharging for a fuel injector? I've been to shops in Wyoming where the bill was basically whatever the mechanic felt like writing on a napkin.
That's the play, Buck. The AI flags the line items. It says, hey, the standard labor time for this job is 2 hours. Why are you billing 6? JB Hunt is leaning into this too. They just launched Overroute.
Overroute is so interesting because it's AI native. It uses agents that live inside the carrier's existing workflow. It's not just a dashboard, it's like having a digital assistant that handles the execution.
Actually, I suppose I should point out the risk there. If an AI agent automatically authorizes a repair or a load exception based on incomplete data, the liability still lands on the carrier.
Exactly. You can't tell the DOT that the computer made a mistake. Sorry, officer. My AI agent thought those brakes had another 1,000 miles in them.
Well, okay. But look at the alternative. Carriers are idling 10% of their fleets right now just because they can't afford the maintenance bills. If the tech keeps the wheels turning, isn't it worth the risk?
Look, it's about agentic AI. We're moving from where is my truck to how do we keep this truck earning? It's a massive shift in mindset.
If I may, it's only a win if the data has integrity. A digital twin of a truck is useless if it doesn't account for the real-world chaos Buck deals with every day.
Speaking of real-world chaos, look, before we dive into the Texas-sized boom happening in Houston, I want to take a quick second for the folks who make this broadcast possible.
Actually, yes. Strategic logistics requires world-class engineering. And this show is powered by the stack developed by Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media.
It's so important to support the architect behind the code, right? If you want to dive deeper into the data we talk about every day, you should visit our Patreon at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia.
They've got a free trial and a daily briefing PDF that, it's got more details than even Dan can keep in his head.
Barely. But seriously, support the stack at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia. Now it's time for the week ahead, our Sunday segment where we map out the chess moves for the transport industry for the week of July 27th.
I love this part. My calendar is already looking like a game of Tetris.
Look, the big one hits Monday, July 27th. That's the final deadline for Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern to submit their supplemental data to the Surface Transportation Board regarding their big merger plans.
I'll be watching the public versions of the employee impact data. I suspect that's where we'll see the first cracks in the labor negotiations for 2027.
Exactly. Then we hit the holy trinity of earnings. UPS reports Tuesday morning, then Old Dominion and C.H. Robinson on Wednesday. These three will tell us if the volume surge is real or just a pull forward.
I'm looking at the Fed on Wednesday. If they don't give us an all-clear signal for capital investment, nobody is buying new rigs next year. And we get the Q2 GDP numbers on Thursday.
Right? It's a huge macro week. It sort of feels like everything is coming to a head right as we enter the peak season prep.
Actually, I'm also watching the EIA petroleum status report on Wednesday morning. We just saw that 33-cent spike in diesel. If inventory is still low, we're looking at another surge.
That's the play. For a mid-sized fleet, unrecovered fuel costs can eat $3,000 per truck per year if those surcharges don't reset fast enough. Watch the EIA numbers like a hawk.
And Saturday, August 1st is the big ArcBest brand consolidation. Molo and Panther officially go away. It's all one ArcBest now.
The week ahead? That's a wrap. Let's see who makes the right moves.
Let's talk about Texas because, wow, Port Houston just posted its highest first-half container volumes in history. over 2 million TEUs.
It's the nearshoring play. Shippers are avoiding the West Coast drama and pushing everything through the Gulf. June saw an 18% year-over-year jump.
Well, I suppose we should also mention the border side of that. The U.S. Treasury just executed a massive crackdown on cartel-linked commercial entities in Mexico. Everything from tequila makers to baby shoes.
The thing is, the border is a mess. You've got record volume on one hand, and the most aggressive enforcement I've seen in 30 years on the other. It's a paradox.
It's sort of a Texas-sized paradox, right? Down in Fort Worth, they're launching the Alliance Logistics District, the first autonomous district in the country.
I'm keeping my eyes on Terminal Industries. Their AI yard operating system just won a big award. They're claiming a 4x ROI by fixing the black hole at the dock.
A black hole is right. I've spent more hours idling in yards than I have at home some months. If they can actually fix yard congestion with AI, I might finally believe in the tech.
Actually, you see, the risk here is the security frontier. If we're automating the docks and the yards while the Treasury is hunting down cartel-linked front companies, compliance isn't a back-office task anymore. It's an operational requirement.
Right. It's about trust. Shippers want the record speed of Houston, but the security of a total lockdown.
Speaking of lockdowns, we have to talk about the nuclear news of the week. The $604 million verdict against C.H. Robinson in Dallas.
This is the main event. Look, this isn't just a big number. It's a total game changer for broker liability.
Here's the deal. This was a fatal crash in 2021. The carrier, Lupus Superior, was hired by Robinson. A jury found the broker 68% responsible.
It's the first major verdict since the Supreme Court's ruling in May. You know, the one that said the FAAAA doesn't protect brokers from state-level negligent hiring claims?
Actually, it effectively ends the satisfactory rating defense. For years, brokers said, hey, the DOT says they're fine, so we hired them. The court just said that's not enough. You have to use reasonable care.
Bottom line, evidence showed the driver reported being too sick to drive that night, and the load wasn't rescheduled. The jury saw that and threw the book at him.
I mean, that's common sense. If a guy tells you he's sick, you don't push him out on the road. But in the brokerage world, the load has to move. That's the culture that just got hit with a $600 million bill.
It sort of creates a crisis for small carriers, right? If I'm a broker now, I'm so terrified of a negligent hiring claim that I'm only going to use the top 1% of fleets.
It's a supply-side crunch by way of the courtroom. Every broker is looking at their vetting process today and realizing their integrity score is their most valuable asset.
Actually, you see, this is what I've been warning about. Technology and data collect everything. If your system flags a carrier as unsafe, but your rep hires them anyway because the price is right, you've just handed a plaintiff's attorney a winning lottery ticket.
My thing is, will this actually change anything on the road? Or will brokers just buy more insurance and keep on doing what they're doing?
Well, okay. I think it changes everything. You can't insure against a $604 million verdict easily. That's going out of business money for most players.
Look, it forces a higher standard. We're going to see more agentic AI used for vetting, not just execution. The computer won't let you assign a load to a carrier with a red-flagged safety record.
I suppose that's the hope. But I'll tell you this, if I'm a risk manager, I'm not trusting an algorithm with $600 million. I want a human being signing off on those high-risk vendors.
Right on. You can't outsource the sniff test to a machine.
It's the ultimate chess match. Rates are high, demand is back, but one mistake in the courtroom can wipe out 10 years of profit.
Exactly. Complacency is the precursor to catastrophe. Today, that catastrophe just cost a lot of people their careers.
It's a sobering end to a record-breaking week, right?
That's all for today's High Road Logistics and Leadership. We covered the $4 rate barrier, the AI revolution in the shop, and the legal earthquake that has every broker rethinking their vetting process.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.
Keep your head on a swivel and your risk protocols in hand. We'll see you in the lanes next week.